Hey guys, I'm here with Willy, longtime friend,
What's up, brother?
business partner, mortgage guys Pasadena, and we have a little surprise for another city which we'll talk about in a bit. But first of all, I want to start with Willy sharing your story on how you got started in the mortgage business and how was your beginning like.
You got it. First of all, hi everyone. I'm excited to be here with Albert. It's always a pleasure to hang out with my brother from another mother, and of course, help people succeed along the way. So the way I got started in the mortgage business, I used to work for a life insurance company, and the division I used to work in, which is customer service, they were closing their doors, and one of my buddies said that they were hiring at a mortgage company. I said, all right, let's do it. You know, when you're young, it's like, all right, well, I guess I need a job. So I went and interviewed, got hired on the spot, and my training was literally maybe like an hour long. And what I was told was get on the phones, tell them if they want to cash out of their property, pay off credit cards, and we'll have their money in about 3 weeks. And that was it. So I got on the phones probably, I want to say maybe not the same day, but the next day after I got hired, and that was my training. So there wasn't anything elaborate. Not like nowadays there's, we provide our people with tons of training, but I think that's really important in what we do is to know what you're talking about, but at the same time, be fearless and know that if you screw things up once or twice, it's going to be fine. You will live, but you just got to jump into it sometimes.
So this is what year?
2002.
2002, and this is your first stint in the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
And you're just calling people and you're asking them, do you want to cash out? Do you want to refinance to lower your payment? And that's basically it, how you got your first people?
That's it. I think I was 26 at the time.
How long did it take you to start making money?
Right away.
So your first month you were making money?
First month, well, the thing is the company I used to work for, AmeriQuest Mortgage, they're no longer in business, but I was getting paid probably 10%. So the way they reeled people in was by paying them a salary and benefits.
Yeah.
And they would pay you 10%. So I was, I don't know, maybe making $3,000 to $4,000 the first 2-3 months. After that, it turned into $10,000. But what I remember what happened was in the building I was in, I would see all these nice fancy cars outside.
Yeah.
Right. Remember, everyone used to park them back in like that.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone could see it, the Mercedes or the BMW, nice fancy rims. And I used to see these people in nice suits with the nice cars, and I always wondered what they did for a living. And I started asking them, hey, what do you guys do? Oh, we're in the mortgage business. Like, really? It's like how can you guys afford these cars? So turned out they were making a lot more money than I was because they were working with brokers, because brokers do make a lot more money than direct lenders. By the way, any direct lenders looking at us, we are hiring, FYI. But I realized I was working way too hard and getting paid peanuts.
Yeah, speaking of that, because I know there's a lot of direct lenders outside watching this, and we have so many success stories with people that joined the company coming from direct lenders that they went through the transition and then they got their license. They became licensed to work for a broker, for the mortgage guys. And now they're killing them. They're making a lot of money. Like a good example is your boy Andy.
Mm-hmm.
We were just in Modesto this weekend, and this guy took him 2 years, and he hit $250,000.
Yeah.
Under you.
Yeah.
Like you trained them, you helped them.
Yeah.
I remember when we first met him, he didn't know anything about the mortgage business. He was kind of working there, but he wasn't really making much money. He was working for a direct lender too.
Sure.
And how he did it in such a short time, like in the mortgage industry. For those of you that are watching this, it's very, very, very possible to go from year one to year two and hit $250,000. Can you talk about a little bit about Andy and how a lot of people, or what's the difference between direct lenders and mortgage brokers?
Absolutely. All right. So direct lenders is it's gonna be, it's like going to work for a corporation, right? So it's when you work for a direct lender, everything is built into the pricing, right? People's salaries, people's benefits, their vacations, all that stuff is their bonuses. Everything's built into the pricing. They don't charge the loan officers for credit reports, nothing. But for the most part, the rates are roughly about 0.5% higher for direct lenders because everything is built into the pricing. Whereas for us, we just run it super slim. Nothing is built into the pricing because we cover our own overhead. Therefore, the client benefits. They get lower rates. They get extra money for closing costs. So that's why a lot of people have joined us from direct lenders, because they realize not only they want to get compensated more, but they want to do the right thing for the client. One time, I was in Punta Mita. I'm just remembering this with my family. Now I was talking to someone in the pool. Maybe Maybe it was in one time me and you went somewhere. But there was someone in the pool that worked for a direct lender, and I don't know if he just told me or he told both of us, because he was a direct lender, and he said, "Look, guys," or he told me, "Look, Willy, I wouldn't tell my guys this, but you guys as direct lenders or as brokers are doing the right thing for clients." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah. Plus, you guys are getting paid more money, giving clients better interest rates." So to me, I remember that, and it's because I think in anything that we do, we have to be super, super ethical, right? And not everything is price, but if, let's say, we're providing clients with great service, better rates, and we're getting paid, I mean, that should make sense for everyone.
I remember one time I was in the Virgin Islands. Funny, but we've been to the Virgin Islands together, but I was in the Virgin Islands with Sil. And this is back in 2013. 2013 or 2014, one of those 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when the streamlines were like on fire.
Yeah.
And I discovered I discovered that trend, and I said, wow, streamlines. Anybody can do a streamline right now. You don't have to check income. You just have to qualify because you already have an FHA loan. You already qualified for it. So it's just to lower your payment. You lower your interest rate. Mm-hmm. And the commissions were the same. Let's just say average commission is 2.5%. So 2.5%, I have $300,000-$400,000 loans. Some of them were even higher. So you're getting paid $10,000, $9,000 a commission check for each file. Mm-hmm. And I just went all in on these streamlines. Mm-hmm. And I was in the Virgin Islands, and this month I made like $118,000, just like easy. Like it was like easy money. $118,000 totaled with I think I closed like 14 deals or something like that. 13, 14 deals, and I think out of all 13, one of them was there was only one that was not a streamline. All of them were streamlines. So they were so easy. I lowered all the rates, and I just like went hard on these streamlines. I saw that this opportunity to help these people lower their rates, and at the same time, my rates were way lower than the direct lenders, and at the same time, I made $118,000, something like that. And I was at the Virgin Islands. I was having all these. I was going to all these seminars so that I could write off, and then people say, "Well, if I'm a direct lender, I'm gonna get my insurance covered. I'm gonna get all this covered." But you don't realize you're making so much more money that you could get whatever you want on your own with your own money.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna have leftover money, and then you could go out and get all these other expenses. I just feel like a broker, you're more like an entrepreneur than when you work for a direct lender, because you control your own destiny.
Absolutely. I was talking to one of my coaching clients today, and I won't mention her name, but she knows who you are. She works at a prison, and she's been there. God, I don't remember. I want to say maybe like 14, 15 years, something like that.
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Super cool. You met her. Super cool. And that came up at EMA at one of my workshops, and she's like, "Oh, like I get benefits. I have my salary. I just have to work another, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 years so I can retire. And my answer to her was, are you willing to sacrifice that much of your life so that you get paid these benefits? Why don't you just get your own benefits? Like I have a few life insurance plans, a few retirement plans. I have investment properties. I pay for my own health benefits for me and my family. You can do that all yourself. Like, why do you have to be risking, like, holding on to these things when in the long run it's like someone kind of like wiggling that carrot at you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you, if you leave, you're not going to have benefits. So you create your own with all the money that you're making.
Yeah. I mean, a simple example, when, like, I know of some direct lenders, where they work for, they pick where they could go to take courses and things like that. When you're a broker, if you could use your own money and you could go to a seminar or a workshop and you could write it off. But you have the option, you have the choice. I think it gives you more freedom. Because, for example, like, I make all the money and I'm able to use that money on whatever I want. For example, my daughters, they were both born. They were both delivered by the same doctor that delivered Kardashian, Beyonce's kids, the Cardone kids. And this doctor, my benefits, if I was a direct lender, or, I mean, I don't want to keep mentioning direct lenders, but we were just talking about them, so we kind of started talking about them more. But, like, if I'm at a place where I have benefits, or they cover my insurance covers my doctor, my hospital visits, it's limited to places where you could go. Like, for example, they can't cover the doctor that I wanted for my daughters. So when you're a broker, like, you're like an entrepreneur and you get to choose. You get to me, that's freedom. But having said that, going back to Andy, like, it's incredible how in 2 years he got up to where he got, and now he's making that money, and now he's able to decide, okay, well, I'm gonna invest this money to keep growing. But otherwise, like, a direct lender is not gonna have that freedom. But like, talk a little bit about Andy. How much work was it, or how was his how did he go from, like, a beginner with nothing really, no knowledge, no originations to where he got? Because I know you were a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, funny story, and I'll answer your question. Someone showed up at my office today. He said, Andy recommended I speak with you. And I'm 20 minutes away. Give me 5 minutes of your time. And he just showed up today to my office. And cool guy. I mean, very, very presentable. And I was tied up, but I had him speak with Christine first, and then I went in there and spoke with him real quick. But that's a question he asked me. He said, I see the success that Andy's had. I know you were a part of it. And what do I need to do to be mentored by you? And I told him, number one, you got to be coachable. Like, Andy was as coachable as they get. In 18 years, I've probably easily trained about 250 people in this business. Him and one other person really stand out. They did everything that I told them. But that's Andy. If I told Andy, show up at 5 in the morning for me to train you on something, he was there at 5 in the morning. If I were to tell him, drive to the city and go meet this person, he's like, I'm on it. He's like, got it, boss. That's how he talks. What if you tell him to
jump off this balcony?
It's crazy, but Andy might do it, right? And that's what it takes in business, is to not have an ego, right? Like, there's some things that you have told me to do. I do most of them, maybe like 99% of them. And I've done them, and it's worked out. But in this business, or any business, when you have an ego or you're too good to do something, that's when you lose. Like, if you see that someone's succeeding, why do you question what they're telling you to do? Like, just do it and go for it. But yeah, Andy was super coachable. He had very limited knowledge where he was before. He got fully licensed. He started growing a team. I told him, get an assistant. He got an assistant right away. And yeah, in 2018, I believe his W-2 was for 65 grand, 65, 66. And W-2 for last year was literally $8,000 shy of $250,000. It was 242,000. Maybe I did the math wrong. Maybe I should have just given him that W-2 for $250,000. But yeah, it goes to show if you have the right mentorship, if you're driven, if you don't have an ego, and you take action, anything's possible.
Now, Andy, was he the most intelligent person you've met? Just being honest,
No.
because I mean, I'm not the most intelligent. I'm
Yeah.
not the most intelligent person.
Yeah.
Neither are you. I'm sure you'll agree with that. But
Yeah.
where I'm going is, there might be. I mean, 99% of the people here are probably not wizards.
Yeah.
But as long as you're telling me that, as long as you have that willingness to be coachable,
Yeah.
to listen and to go out there and execute, anybody
Absolutely.
can become a great income earner in the mortgage business.
You don't have to be the sharpest knife on the block. See, like, I know tons of people that have college degrees, they have, MBAs, they're everything. I mean, super book smart, but they don't know how to take action. They're not business minded. In order to succeed, you got to take action. You don't have to be the smartest guy. You just need to know like a few things, maybe 2-3 things that you're just gonna execute, and that's gonna help you take your business to the next level. So yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are like super smart, but we know how to execute.
Yeah, even Bobby Castro and many powerful, super wealthy people, including billionaires, have told me I'm not the smartest person.
Yeah,
But I hired smarter people than me to run my departments in my business.
that's where it's
So
at.
because we're all good at we're all great at something, but
Yeah.
the things that you're not great at, you could hire other people to help you with that. But that's a whole different level. But that's why I like this whole thing we have with the mortgage guys. That was a mortgage guy, but now as the mortgage guys, we've been growing, and then everybody has potential to keep moving up the ladder.
Everyone's hungry, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing about our culture. There are, right, we have our exceptions. Like, if I were to tell you, man, everyone is on fire at the mortgage guys, I'd be lying. There might be, 1 or 2 people that are okay closing a deal a month, and that's everyone has different goals. But I can tell you a good maybe 99% of the people in our company, I mean, they work out, they like reading, they're motivated, very little negativity. And that's one thing that is hard to create, is culture. Who was it? Someone asked me at Andy's Driven seminar. It felt like it was yesterday, kind of, because we ended like at midnight, right?
Yeah, I'm still recovering from this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Someone asked me, how do you create a culture within a company? And I told them that is one of the hardest things to do. It's easy. It's really easy to hire a ton of people. You and I can go out today and say, all right, man, we're going to hire 30 people today. It's hard to find the good ones. And I think that's why we've been growing at a steady pace, but at a good pace, because we're selective.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think we've both made it very intentional to hire people we like, that respect us, that we can respect back, that are coachable. And but yeah, I don't think that there are very few companies that do that. I can tell you, a lot of people ask me that question, even other people that are lenders. Dude, like, well, what's it with your culture? I'm like, man, we just don't say yes on the first interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our exceptions here and there, but for the most part, people are reaching out to us. How can I join you? Whereas for most companies, it's everyone reaching out to people. Oh, come on, join us. We'll hire you, without even meeting people.
Yeah.
Like, we rarely like just hire people on the spot. Like, we want to make sure we're both a good fit for each other.
And I think that's one of the best things we have, our culture. And in the beginning, like the first couple of years, we grew kind of slow, and the people that weren't a good fit for our culture have slowly disappeared. They have left. And now we know exactly what makes us very dangerous right now, in a good way, is that we identified the exact
right.
We run
Kinda like a
metrics
formula,
so good.
yes,
So
yeah.
So we know we know exactly who we want, and who's going to fit our culture, and we have just so much data and information that that's why in the last 12 months you guys have seen how fast we've grown. Like we just started going like multiplying, like so, like, but consistently, and we know who's a good fit and who's not going to be a good fit. We run all these tests. We have all these all this data that we collect, and we just, it's just like by the end of this year is going to be the biggest year by far. Like I mean, I could smell it, I could taste it, and one of the key factors is you. Like you've done such a great job training a lot of our LOs.
Thank you.
Another great example that I want to touch on is Melissa. How she was.
Hey,
struggling.
Melissa.
Melissa's probably watching. Melissa was struggling. She wasn't making money, and then
She has a great story.
Yeah, first year at TMG's, it breaks 6 figures.
Yeah. So again, Melissa's someone else that came to the company with little knowledge. Luckily, she already came fully licensed, which was great. But she was at a place where, not knocking everyone. It's takes time. It's hard to train people. She just didn't have that kind of mentorship where she was at.
Because one thing I want to add really quick, because a lot of people are interested in joining the mortgage guys TMG, but they're not licensed yet. So they have to go through that onboarding process. They have to get licensed. They have to take a test. They have to wait. And meanwhile they do that, they're learning. We're training them, and they're assisting with little things here and there. But they're learning. They're getting the experience. But Melissa came fully licensed, but she was at a place where she wasn't growing. She was kind of stuck. But then, what was the thing that happened that changed her? I know you had a big. I know. It was all you. But what, if you could attribute it to like maybe 2 key things that you did for her? She had to put all the work. But what were 2 key things that you instructed her to do, and she just went out and did them?
Business mindset and social media. Those 2 things. So one thing we I learned this from you, by the way, is don't seem desperate for business. Right? Remember that? Remember I used to like always drive to people's houses?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, like they should come to you. Realtors should come to you if they really want to do business with you. So now most of the people that I meet, they come to my office, right? It's just the way we do business. I go to their offices here and there too. But that's one thing I taught her, is to not be just a loan officer, is to run a lending business. And that's what a lot of people don't do in this business. They're just loan officers all over the place, picking up documents, dropping the ball, not being in communication with people. So that's one thing I told her. You just have to put on your business mindset, okay, and be smart with your time. And that's what she did. And of course, her social media. Now a lot of people know who La Reina del Mortgage is, which is really, really cool. I'm proud of her. And yeah, she went from $13,000 in 2018 to 2019. She broke 6 figures.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also, like a lot of loan officers and realtors, I've seen they close a deal. I think this is important for a lot of realtors and loan officers watching this. They close a deal, and they're so used to, like, it's the mindset thing. They're used to, like, man,
I'm gonna go blow it all.
So, but they get on their car and they speed to escrow to pick up a broker check.
Oh yeah.
And then they speed to the office. So they spend a whole day picking up, chasing the check, taking it to your broker so that it gets in there the same day, and so they could get paid as soon as possible. And then what they don't realize is you just wasted a day. Imagine if you would have worked this entire day and getting more business. And you did this with Andy, where Andy was like, "Hey Willy, don't pay me. Just hold on to my deals. Pay me until I close 7, and you could just send me a big fat one."
Sure. And I learned that from you. Like, I give you tons of credit for a lot of things that I learned. Before, I was that loan officer that would, as soon as the deal funded, then recorded, and I knew like they were cutting checks, I would call the escrow company, be like, "Hey, by the way, I happen to be in the neighborhood. You know, is my check ready?" Yeah, I'd pick up the check, go deposit it. That was my thing. But what I learned was that was having like a scarce mentality.
Yeah.
So what I started doing with you was, hold on to 4 or 5 checks. So instead of getting paid when the money was available, I tell you, let it grow to like 50, 60,000 and then send me a check. But I was no longer having that scarce mentality. Now it was the abundant mentality. And then we started, like most brokers out there, I wouldn't say maybe 99% or maybe 100%, not 100 because we're that 1%. 99% of brokers, as soon as the money's available, they write the check to their loan officers. But what's that teaching their loan officers? It's like you're not being abundant. So then we started paying people every Friday.
Yeah.
Right? Once a week, where most brokers, they're like, they're afraid a loan officer is going to leave if they don't write them a check on the spot. That's something else that we've done is like we're teaching our loan officers structure. Like this is a business. It's not a mom and pop shop, right? It's not one of those old school shops where, like people are afraid. What if our loan officers get mad and leave? No, like this is a legit business.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I have this incredible person, and
his name's Willy Escobar.
This person will know I'm talking about this person if they see this interview. But this person is at a shop. Okay, I'm not gonna mention cities because I'm gonna give it away. But this person's at a shop, and this person is getting 100% commission for mortgage. Okay. So this person is getting, because I want to make this. This is also really helpful to a lot of you out there. Don't focus on making max money, max commission, max split on every deal, because the most important thing is value. Okay, if you have a broker, a leader, a manager, a CEO, or whatever, that's giving you so much value, that's what counts.
Yeah.
Because when there's value, there's no price tag. And this person, again, mindset for most people is working at a place that is paying this person 100% commission for mortgage loans, and they're charging a desk fee. So a monthly desk fee of, I think it was $600.
So they're making 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but this person was closing one deal a month, one deal, and couldn't get past that. This broker shop was a small broker shop. Nothing. I don't want to talk bad about this broker shop, but they just didn't have any marketing, any systems, no brand, no nothing. It was just a small shop, and it's limited. There's no value. Although the only value is you're gonna get 100%. I just make my $600 a month as the broker, and then this person came. Yeah. We met. Wonderful person, one of the top people in the company right now, and this person was like, oh, she was like this person wanted to go over like splits and all this, and then finally I just say, well, it's gonna be this split, it's gonna be like this is what we have for everybody. And this person goes home, thinks about it, next day texts me, I'm in. I'm gonna lose out this percentage, but the value is everything. I want to be part of this culture. I want to be in your environment. I want to be this and this and this. And this person is now closing 6 deals a month versus 1 deal a month.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, I think like there's a lot of companies. Their structure is just, their business model is just wrong, right? Like let's say for lenders, they want to pay 100% commission, but what kind of value is there for that person to not be making money on someone, right? Like there has to be value for everyone. If you're not making money as the broker of the company, like where's your mindset? What do you have to offer where you're afraid people are going to leave because they're not making 100%?
Yeah. And another example that I want to touch on before we move on, because I want you to talk about how you train people, but this guy Ricky. He goes to your office a lot, huh?
Yeah, he's been doing videos and everything. And one thing we have with at TMG, the mortgage guys, is that we're all. It's like a man. I want to say it's the best company out there right now. Even though we all like own or operate our own shop, like Pasadena's. It's my office. I have Whittier too, but it's open to everyone too. Like I have never said, oh no, you can't come over here because it costs me money for you to be here. It costs me money. What if you need to use a printer? Like Melissa comes to your office sometimes.
Yeah. And she prints
it's-
like a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
she's welcome to use.
Yeah, it's like
everything.
we would never. I mean, I would never say anything. Like we just want to give. Like Ricky used to come to my trainings and all that, and I was never like, hey Ricky, man.
And
well,
he uses your $8,000 Jamboard.
yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't
I
mess it
know.
up, because then you're gonna send me a bill.
No, and it's cool. Like like Ricky doesn't even have to like. He does out of courtesy. Hey, I'm coming to your office, and I've always told him, dude, you don't even have to check with me. Just use my stuff or out. It's like it's an open door for everyone.
Yeah. Now, what I want to share about Ricky is same story as what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He shows up to my office, like no interview set up, no nothing. He just shows up. He's like, I'm gonna meet Albert, and he used to follow me on well, he still follows me on Instagram, but he was just a follower.
I heard he unfollowed you.
No, I don't
just
think.
kidding.
I don't think he's unfollowed me yet. But he's watching us right now, and Ricky, he just shows up, and the door happens to be open because one of the guys left it open. And the restroom, I was coming out of the restroom, and the door's open that leads to the front entrance.
Yeah.
So he's making eye contact with me as I'm coming out after I just finished taking a piss. And he looks at me, and we make eye contact. So I can't tell him I'm not there. My front desk person, as soon as they notice that, they close the door. But then now you can't tell Ricky Albert's not here, because he knew I was there. My car was in the back. He happens to park next to me, so he had all his angles covered, and he was there, and he refused to leave the office, and that's the only exit I had at the time. Now I have a bunch of like private exits, and my back entrance and all that stuff.
I heard you have a slide from your office that goes to your car.
Dude, I have undercover stuff right there. Now I'm very equipped, because we get a lot of surprise visits. But he's there, so I can't get out unless I walk right by him. So finally, after an hour and a half, he doesn't go, and I have to come home because Sil's waiting for me with my daughter, and we had some plans. So I say, okay, I'll give him 2 minutes, and those 2 minutes ended up being 30 minutes. And I tell him, look, if you're serious, because I really liked him, so I said, if you're serious, you got to quit your job. He had an accounting job where he was getting paid, I think, $55,000 a year, something like that.
Yeah.
And I said, if you're serious, quit your job, and we'll talk. I'll hire you. And this was in the beginning, like right in the second year, when we really were just getting started, and we had a lot of startup problems. So long story short, he texts me a week later, and he said, I just gave my 2-week notice.
That's what it takes.
And he shows up.
Yeah.
His first 8 months, he does, because he gave his 2-week notice, but he had to get licensed, go through all that training and all that stuff.
Yeah.
His first 8 months in the business, fully licensed, he closed 1 transaction. The last 5 months, he closed 14. And he went through so many hard times where I'm sure he felt like quitting, and I'm sure his girl was probably like, what are you doing, man?
I love it.
Like, I'm paying for your lunch and for your dinner get a damn job, Ricky.
Yeah.
And then this Ricky just refused to quit, and now he's like one of the most successful young people in the company.
Now I see him all over social media, sponsored ad, and it's awesome. Now he's putting money back into marketing. I mean, I love it. That's what it takes, just to say, screw it, I'm going to be persistent. Sometimes you just have to like show up.
Yeah.
Say, man, I'm here, and then you got to commit, because there's some people that have the whole commitment thing all screwed up. They say, I'm committed, but they don't want to do the work. You're not committed. Like you think you are, because you think you're in touch with what's important, but you're not willing to put in the work.
Yeah. And like before, we didn't have, like, we were a startup, so we had a lot of startup problems, and we weren't equipped to train newbies, people that are green into the mortgage industry. But Ricky was one of those few that was able to get one-on-one time from us, and he learned. But now we have that in line. So now we train new people that want to get into this industry. And I know you train a lot of people. You have your EMA, right? Academy, where you train people. You train people on mortgages. And besides, we have a Lambo here that just turned on, or maybe something else. But
Dude, that's a loud Lambo.
That's the cool thing about doing these podcasts here at 10,000. Like, we have the view, and we have all these exotic noises. I'm not talking about sex, by the way. I'm talking about like car engines and things like that. But having said that, guys, now we have training in place. So I want you to talk a little bit about your EMA, because I know you're really passionate about that.
Love
and
it.
I know that a girl that she went through your training, she's going to join the company for real estate.
Sure.
And then I know there's another guy that wants to get into mortgages. So a lot of these people you've trained, and they had no idea of what the real estate and mortgage industry were, but you've been coaching these people from beginning to end, right? How does that work for your EMA?
Yeah, so I love coaching. I get a lot out of it. For me, like putting a loan together is easy now because I've done over 1,000 loans. I still enjoy it, but what I actually enjoy more is teaching people how to succeed. And that's why I put EMA together, because I was getting inquiries all the time. People wanted to have me train them. I just didn't have the time. And then there's one thing about doing things for free, is there isn't value for anyone. So I put together the Elite Mortgage Academy, and it was actually 4 days before, but 4 days was a little too much for me. I think a little too much for everyone. So now I turned it into 3 days. I'm charging people $19.95, $1,995, not $19. Some people have asked me if it was $19. But no,
I was gonna sign up for that.
$1,995, and for 3 intense days, people learn about mortgages, mindset, business planning. We go a little deep into what's in here, because I think one of the things why people don't succeed is there's still baggage, right? Like, we grew up, and it's pretty cool because we talk about this pretty freely now, is that we all grew up with the wrong things being put up here, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not for Latinos, or right, gotta watch your money. We never had really like someone teaching us all the right things. So that's what I do in 3 days. I teach people about mortgages, about money, about finances, credit, investing. It's really complete. And so far, I have had 4 EMAs. All of them were sold out. And yeah, some people, now I'm coaching. So I'm coaching people. I have 8 coaching clients right now. And I coach them on everything. And it's awesome. I really, really enjoy it.
You know what I like about training, coaching people is that your intention is to give and to help, right?
Yeah.
But when you focus on that first, money comes your way.
100%.
In a way, as to, like, for example, Driven. I started Driven because I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to make money, but my priority is not making money. It's first helping people and changing lives.
100%.
And 99% of the massive growth that we've had with the companies has been because of Driven, because people find out about us through Driven, and then it starts flowing a lot of people to get interested. Oh, you know what? I want to be like Willy. Like, you've been breaking 7 figures like by a lot for years, and we know those juicy numbers that you made for 2019. So
That's nothing, by the way. Like, this year's gonna be just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that, man. See, when you're affiliated with a company and people where everyone wants to succeed, it just becomes like easier.
Yeah.
It becomes easier. Like, right now we have like a really like nice full pipeline of people that are buying and refinancing, and yeah, we're not even thinking about the money, right? It's really about what. So I have a motto. I don't follow money. I follow the passion of helping people. Therefore, the money follows me. I get paid as a result of helping people. Not a bad gig.
You know what I want to ask you? This is a personal question, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know. but and also a compliment. Like like in the last 2 years, I've seen you grow. Like you kind of graduated. You became a real entrepreneur. So you went from a person that had, remember that small shop in Citrus, or was it in
Covina?
In Covina, remember that little tiny office?
Yeah.
So that was like your first little office when we started. It was I think it was the first office.
Yeah,
it was the first other office besides West Hollywood.
Yeah.
So you opened that little office, and you had like one assistant, and then you would ask me, what should I do with this assistant? Should I continue with this assistant or not? And I would say, like, do this, and then you would do it, and then you got another one, and then we had a mess with how we were paying people, and because how much are we gonna pay this assistant? We never had an assistant, or
now
this or this.
everything is legit.
It was we were just making mistakes and learning through mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward to today, you run a real company within the company, and you have employees, you have a lot of agents, you've dealt with agents that have came, learned, left, some of them that quit, and some of them that became superstars, like Melissa, like Andy. So like I just want to just tell you this and just compliment you on this, because you've really you're a different Willy now than 2 years ago.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy, and again, I owe it to you and Sil too, by the way, because she's a big part of this. But you guys have been like stubborn in a good way about certain things, paying people on W-2. Because let's say a few years ago, I was paying everyone 1099 because I wanted to save money, and then we had some meetings, and we had a few scares. Then it's like, no, it's like you want to run a multi-million-dollar business, you have to be legit. Is it the cheapest thing to do? No, absolutely not. It's it's quite costly, but I don't think either you and we're not too focused on what it's going to cost us, but by doing things the right way, is this going to take the company to the next level? Absolutely. And I think that's what makes us different than a lot of brokers, because most brokers are paying everyone, even their staff, 1099, which is irresponsible, because that puts their loan officers in jeopardy. What if they get audited by EDD, or I think it's EDD, and they have to close their doors? That's putting everyone, but
and this is what I would have never learned this if I wouldn't have invested money into Patrick Bet-David,
right?
Because I paid him money to coach me, and I went there. We spent one-on-one time, and then he just opened my eyes, because in the beginning, like, first of all, the mortgage or the company was started because I wanted to make a lot of money and keep it all, and I'm sure when you started, you were also like, we're gonna make a lot of money, but then you're capped. The only way to grow this to $1 billion is to help hundreds, thousands of other agents grow, and to help increase the value of the company. So I didn't know any of this, and then Patrick's like, do you guys have systems? What are your systems? How is your operations manual? And I'm like, no, we don't have that. And then he gives me a book, Principles by Ray Dalio. Then he tells us, go on this retreat, take your top people, your top level executive team. And I'm fuck. And I'm like, who's my top level executive team? Like, because it was only like a few of us. And I'm like, okay, well, let's take Willy and me, Sil, and we go. And then we sit down and we come up with like at least 60 pages that weekend. And then after that, we're like, okay, well, now we have to be compliant. We were like, because when you start a company, guys, I don't care who's watching, but let's be honest. When you start a company, you don't know what you're doing. And you have a lot of growing pains. And in the beginning, you're like, well, how do I pay him? How do I pay her? You make mistakes, and then you get caught, you get fined, and then you learn. So what we do is we teach people like how to avoid making those mistakes. We established a company now that is probably the most popular company on social media. And technology and social media are the future. And it enables you to grow and to grow exponentially. So a lot of lenders out there, realtors are out there. If you guys want to be part of this movement, this circle, I just saw an interview from Robert Kiyosaki and Patrick Bet-David, where they talk about the best position to be right now is with a startup company, because they have the potential to blow up. If you're at a company that's big already, there's no opportunities to be an equity owner, to be part of the company, because they're already grown. You're just going to be at the bottom forever. But we have that opportunity. We built this company with the culture, with the right environment, that now we want to share. We want to spread the wealth, and we want people to have the same opportunity we had, and help you grow, be your mentor. And we have all the systems in place, everything in place for you to be part of this. And we're really, really excited. And you want to add something to that before we jump into the next thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are the only mortgage company that's popular on social media right now. I mean, that's huge. I remember when we first started doing like our fancy videos, like it wasn't really cool, but people were like, "Oh, what the hell?" Like
people were making fun of us.
Yeah, aren't mortgages supposed to be boring, right? And then we both aligned, and the furniture in our offices, it was both white, the welcome signs, all that stuff. That's one thing me and you we've always like complimented each other. Like I've had some ideas, you had some ideas. We're like, oh shit. Like you'd give me some ideas, I'm like, oh, that's great. Right away, implement it. Same thing. But yeah, I think I can tell you, I get offers accepted all the time now. Right? Not only because I've branded myself on social media, but people now take a look at the mortgage guys to like, oh yeah, I know who they are. I know Albert. I know Willy. Oh yeah, the guys on social media. Like because of social media, people are now connected. See, one of the reasons why people like to do business with other people is when they feel a connection. And that's one thing we've done great. And a lot of people with the company too is now we're connecting with so many people on social media that it's getting easier to do business because now we're a familiar company. Now we have familiar faces.
Yeah. And we got all the marketing right, guys. Like we're connected with like Cardone, Patrick Bet-David, Ty Lopez, Jordan Belfort, and we have many new surprises, things that I can't share, innovative campaigns about marketing. They're gonna just think about it. Those of you that are watching this, or those of you that are getting to know us for the first time, it's all about how many people know you, how many people know your brand, how many people know who you are. If you're the best, if you read books about mortgages, about real estate, and you know everything about real estate and mortgages, but nobody knows you, nobody's going to buy from you. That's why McDonald's, they don't have the best burgers, but they're the best-selling burger because everybody knows them. Marketing. Coca-Cola is not the healthiest, the best, the most delicious drink, but everybody knows Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola knows how to market. That's the same thing we're doing with the mortgage guys, and it's helping a lot of our lenders get business way faster, way easier. So there's this book, I'll share this book with you guys, called Blue Ocean Strategy. And one of the things that we've done with the mortgage industry is the same thing. The example they use there is Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil became a different thing. It became before, circuses used to be like simple clowns where everybody goes and watches the clowns, and the clowns, it's like a $20 price to go to this circus show. You take your kids, and everybody's like, oh, this clown. And everybody's fighting for the best clown. But it's the same thing. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, no experience. It's going to make you be like, wow, I'm going to come back. I can't wait to come back. But then Cirque du Soleil decided to create it into this fancy experience that you never forget. They have alcohol. They have a naked woman. They have exotic animals. They have DJ, like music, lighting. So you go there and you're like, wow, I never want to go anywhere but Cirque du Soleil. Yeah. So that's the same thing we created with the mortgage guys, where now people come here and they have their name up on the screen. They have their private parking.
They have drink menus.
Drink menu. You want some champagne? Here's a champagne glass. Here's a beer. We have everything to make it such a great experience where we make mortgages fun.
Yeah.
But talk about your clients when they go to your office. Like, don't they go home and they're like, man, I can't believe I came here I thought it was going to be scary and I was going to be stressed out, because you go to Bank of America and people or you go to any other lender and they just kind of look at you like that.
Yeah.
And they intimidate you, and you're almost scared to show them your paperwork because you're going to get declined. But they go to us, and if they don't qualify, we give them tips on how they could qualify in 6 months. They have a pleasant experience. You give them their drink menu. You put their name up. You make them feel special, right? How's your experience in Pasadena?
All right, so it's pretty much. This is what's cool is that you and I made the whole experience. Now all the other branches, we pretty much have the same system in all the branches. So as soon as someone walks in, their name is on the board. Let's say welcome Albert, and then it'll say like West Hollywood or Pasadena. They have a seat. Then one of our amazing assistants takes them a drink menu. What would he like to drink? Like, who does that? It's like a restaurant, right? Then they're like, oh wow, really? You have a drink menu? So okay, I want a coffee. Okay, then they make the coffee. They come out, and then we have an incredible system too, where let's just say we have not pulled the client's credit. We don't have the paperwork. One of our assistants makes copies of the paperwork. The client waits for us. So until we are 100% ready to meet with the client, then we meet with them. And then in some of our offices, like in my office, once they're there to get pre-qualified, we actually give them a moving kit that has tape, bubble wrap, some gifts. But I think that some people are always trying to cut their fees, cut their costs for the client. This is why there is no value. And even though we have competitive fees and all that stuff, but I think most people are actually okay with paying whatever price you have to offer because of how you feel, right? So let me give you an example. Let's say when you go to JCPenney, no one remembers your name. Some of the people there, little, you could say, some of them maybe not the nicest people, but you go to Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's. Guess what? The anything that you buy, they wrap it for you. They put in a nice whatever it's called, that paper, right? I went to Bloomingdale's last week to get my wife a gift for Valentine's, and they offered me Perrier, which is interesting. It's inexpensive, but she asked me, "Would you like flat or sparkling water?" I was like, "Oh, nice. I'll take sparkling." They gave me Perrier. Do you think I'm gonna go back to that Bloomingdale's and spend a bunch more money next time? Absolutely.
Yeah.
As simple as offering someone sparkling water makes them feel good. I love Perrier. It was probably a $2 bottle. But am I going to go back and spend thousands? Yeah. Why? Because of the experience.
Yeah, what people have to understand is that it's about how you make a person feel.
Yeah.
And that's value. Like for example, me, the Ivy, I like the Ivy restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
My wife loves it because when you get there, they give you
champagne.
champagne. They're like, "Welcome, you're getting
That
off the
sounds
car."
good.
And they're like, "Here's some champagne."
Yeah.
And all these places, when I go to Ferragamo, they bring you champagne. Louis Vuitton, they bring you champagne.
Yeah.
Chanel, they bring you like the Ace of Spades champagne. They bring you like more expensive champagne.
Nice. I wouldn't know because I've never been there, but maybe I'll go there today.
So it's all about value. I've never cut my commission when I was like when I had clients that even though the commission was kind of high, I kept my commission because I gave them so much value.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes you have to cut it to help them because that's the only way they're going to be able to get the house.
Mm-hmm.
But if you charge a commission, and even though it's a big commission, but you give your client so much value that you're going to make your clients millions of dollars, it doesn't matter how much you charge.
Of course, absolutely. And one thing we do is we train people all the time, right? So that's what people get too. Not only they get competitive fees and all that, and this is going to sound like an ad, which is fine because we're a marketing company too. Not only people are okay with paying the fees that are highly competitive, but they get value. They get someone that's highly trained, fully licensed, that's not going anywhere, that is ethical, gives them options. Why wouldn't people be okay paying a certain price?
Yeah. And guys, by the way, right now there's no better time to do something with your house because of the way the market is. If you guys have a house, the rates are so low. So send us a DM, send us a message. If you're looking for a mortgage guy or a mortgage girl, we can help you. It's the time to make a move right now. It's a really good time to make a move. Rates are really low. Equities are high. If you want to sell your house, it's a great time. And what I want to do right now to close this out, Willy, is we are doing a driven workshop in the city of Pasadena and Whittier.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yes, so-
it's coming up. We don't know the exact date, but it's coming up in the next, I think, 2-3 weeks or something like that.
See, that's how we do it.
So yeah, like what can people expect from it, and how many people do you think we want to have in Pasadena? Because we had one in Modesto, but we're gonna have one in the Pasadena area, because we're looking for you that wants to start a career in the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
Maybe you're hearing like, man, yeah, Willy and Andy and Albert and all these people are not only making all this money but helping all these people, and how do we get into it? I'm curious. How do I learn? What do I have to do? We're going to teach them what they have to do. And if you're licensed and maybe with a direct lender or maybe with a different company that doesn't give you the value, we want to give you that value. I'm going to be there. Willy's going to be there. My wife's going to be there. And stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of value right there to learn. And Willy's going to talk about that.
So first of all, me and Albert, or my wife always corrects me, I think it's Albert and I, we want to make people wealthy. I mean, honestly, there's no better feeling. I mean, this is like, it kind of makes me like a little, like I'm getting goosebumps. There's no feeling like hearing from Melissa, right? Melissa's a single mom, has a son and everything. Like saying, I broke 6 figures, right? Year before I was making 13 grand. Now 6 figures. Now the goal for this year is going to be $250,000 for Melissa. And we're going to do it like big time. Like I have no doubt that she's going to achieve $250,000. Andy's like a hero in Modesto right now. I mean, big time. And I say this jokingly, and I've told Andy before, Andy's going to have a bronze statue the minute people drive into Modesto. And it's happening, right? So with our knowledge or our drive to help people, it's just going to be, we're going to be changing lives everywhere. And that's what we're going to be doing when we put together this event. I'm not sure if it's going to be in Pasadena, maybe Whittier, maybe Downey. We'll see. Stay tuned. In the next maybe 3 weeks or so, we're going to be putting together a driven event. We're going to be hosting anywhere between 200 to 300 people. So if you have your real estate license and you want to join Ambiance, if you have your NMLS, you want to join the mortgage guys, or if maybe you don't, but you're hungry, you're motivated, you're willing to do whatever it takes, we're going to be there to meet with you. You're going to meet Albert, Sylvia, my wife, my beautiful wife, Christine. And yeah, we're just on a mission to help people.
Yeah, guys. And if you're interested, if you're curious, like how does it work? Because a lot of people don't understand. It's so easy. Like the mortgage industry is so amazing. Real estate too, but I mean, the mortgage industry is what has gotten me the success that I have today. Because I did real estate for a little bit, but then I focused on mortgages, and just people don't understand how easy it is to close 10 deals in a month, make $100,000 in a month, and help 10 families in a month. You could do all those 3 in a month and still have a great life. And it's so easy. Like it really is easy. All you got to go out there, spread your word, to meet as many families as you know. Most of you already know somebody. I'm sure you have family members, you have friends that own a property. Right now they have equity, they might have a high rate. You could help them and you're going to get paid for it and you're going to make good money from it. Think about it. Let's just say average commission is 2.5% of the loan amount. Maybe 2%. That's a lot of money when you're talking about $500,000, $400,000 loan amounts. And you're, as a broker, you give them a great rate, you help them, and you get paid. And then you could go to all these fancy restaurants that Willy likes to go to. So if you're interested in learning more about the mortgage industry, real estate industry, we're going to have a great event in maybe Pasadena, Whittier, or you said maybe down in an area around there.
Stay tuned. This is what's great about the business we're in. People need our services. We're not selling exotic cars that people could go without. We are putting people into homes. Who doesn't need a roof? Everyone is in only 2 categories. Either 1, you rent and you need to own, or 2, you own and you need to refinance or buy more properties. everyone is in one of those categories. So why not be in the business where people are coming to you that they need your services?
Yeah. So Willy, let's hear some your closeout words for today. What anything that you want to let these our audience know, and also let them know where they could follow you and all that info.
Absolutely. So follow me at the Willy Escobar on Facebook and Instagram. And to close it out, I just want you to think about this. Are you in a business that is ethical? Are you in a business that is really going to help you take your life and your family's life to the next level? Are you happy with the money that you're making? Do you want to be around people that are succeeding, people that are going to push you? I don't know. I think I'm just excited for us to be helping more people.
Yeah, guys, and to add a little bit to that, like Willy's made millions in the mortgage industry. I've done really good in the mortgage industry, and we have other people that have made millions in our company. So the future for you in this industry has no cap. We are here to help you. We want to be your mentor. We want to help you succeed in the mortgage industry. So if you're interested, catch us in this event that we're going to throw in Pasadena, maybe Whittier. And I can't wait to see you. Thank you, Willy, for being part of this.
Thank you, brother.
It's always
Appreciate
a pleasure,
you,
man.
And real quick, don't forget about Elite Mortgage Academy. It's 3 days. The investment is $19.95, and I promise you, I'm gonna help you take your life to the next level.
When's the next one?
Next one's gonna be in April.
April. So we'll have all your information below. Thank you, guys.
All right.